Remember your earlier days? I don't think so. One stage in a human life that is not really given much attention and its significance of who we are today is how our teeth were being developed. But definitely, we give so much attention when the baby teeth is about to erupt during our infancy years and the pain and discomfort now when we have tooth decay. These are the things that we often know about our teeth. But what exactly happens inside there? How is the miracle of life also happens to our teeth? This is Dr. Lanto, a Filipino dentist, and let me share with you how our teeth develops from literally nothing into something that makes us function well. Odontogenesis is what we call the formation and eruption of the teeth. In other words, teeth development. Yes, and we know that teeth development occurs in an embryo during its 6th week. In order to understand its development, we should know its parts. The tooth is divided into the crown and the root. The crown portion has its enamel, dentine, pulp, while the root comprises of the gingiva, the root canal, the bone, and the nerves and blood vessels. These are the stages of tooth development which we will further discuss. This stage is the thickening stage, or what we call the initiation stage. Here, the tooth primarily began and formed in the complex interactions between the primitive oral epithelium derived from the ectoderm of the first pharyngeal arc and the underlying ectomesenchyme cells that are derived from neural crest. Then the tooth germ starts growing with the formation of a localized thickening or primary epithelial bond in the epithelial of the putative upper and lower jaws. This thickening forms a continuous horseshoe-shaped sheath of epithelium around the lateral margins of the developing oral cavity. This band gives rise to two processes which proliferate and invaginate into the underlying mesenchyme. The outer process is also called the vestibular lamina, and the inner process is the dental lamina, which forms the tooth buds. Certain points in the dental lamina would develop an additional growth of cells known as the dental placodes. These placodes protrude in the underlying mesenchyme, and these points, 20 in number, both upper and lower, corresponds to the size of the deciduous teeth. Placodes then proliferates and takes the shape of a bud. The tooth bud is referred as the enamel organ, as it would give rise to the enamel. Ectomesenchymal cells will eventually evolve to form the tooth germ, which is made up of all the soft tissues necessary to grow a tooth. At week 10, the ectoderm continues to proliferate and it bumps into the cluster of neuromesenchymal stem cells below. This cluster of neuromesenchymal stem cells is called the dental papilla. The dental papilla forces the ectoderm of the tooth bud to grow around it. As this happens, the ectoderm resembles a hat, hence the name cap stage. Now the bell stage. By the 11th or 12th week, ectoderm and neuromesenchyme continue to proliferate. At this point, the enamel organ grows into a bell shape. Cells of the enamel organ differentiate. They will fall into one of four cell groups called inner enamel epithelium, outer enamel epithelium, stratum intermedium, and stellate reticulum. During this stage, interactions between these cells induce the differentiation of ameloblasts, the cells that make enamel, and odontoblasts, the cells that make dentine. The second half of the bell stage is the late bell stage or the crown stage. During this time, the crown of teeth formed by the secretion of molecules by ameloblasts and odontoblasts. No new cells of these types form. Teeth continue to grow by the addition of extracellular matrix. This is somewhat similar to the growth of bone tissue, only the enamel and dentine producing cells do not get trapped between layers of hard tissue. Instead, these cells migrate in the basal direction as they secrete matrix. The tooth root made of root dentine and root canals forms a combination of these structures, the dental papilla, the dental follicle, and another important group of cells known as the Hertwig's epithelial root sheath. And finally, once the crown of the tooth has formed and the root has begun to develop, The root moves vertically toward the oral cavity so it can erupt into the correct position. That's how our teeth were formed. Amazing, right? Teeth development is very crucial. Now, with the knowledge we have about how it formed, erupted, and remained there inside our mouth, I believe we can better take care of it. Our teeth is mainly there to allow every single food we eat to be broken down into small particles that our body can digest and handle. Without it, we know that we can't enjoy our appetite, won't talk, and speak clearly, and we may have an irregular, distorted face shape. Can you imagine? It is definitely one of the smallest part of our body, yet it is the strongest among everything that constitutes our body. Its job may be the simplest, yet without it, our normal everyday lives could suffer. What makes you smile confidently and relentlessly? It is your teeth. That's it for today, guys. I hope that you have learned so much about how our teeth were developed. And now that you know it, you could better take care of it. God bless you and bye!